Donald Trump, he's made a bit of a confession about a chat that he had with Prince William when the pair met the other day. And he said that the Prince confided in him about King Charles and Princess Kate's ongoing health battles, of course, a diagnosis with cancer. Now, he said, I asked him about his wife and he said she's doing well. I asked him about his father and his father is fighting very hard. He loves his father, he loves his wife. It's sad. Angela, this seems to be the first time we've been given a real glimpse as to how bad the situation is.
Yeah, I think this is really significant what Trump's come out and said. Look, we could say it could have had some Trump top spin. He loves a bit of top spin on things. But I don't think he wants to damage his reputation and relationship with the royal family, who we know he adores, by giving it any extra emphasis. So I think that there's every likelihood that this has been accurately reported, in which case what it suggests to me is that the king isn't particularly well. He could be more sick than we think. He could be fighting this ongoing battle. Well, of course, we know that Catherine's cancer treatment has finished because she told us it has, but there's been no indication that the King's cancer treatment has finished. So I think this is the very first time we've got any kind of idea from anyone of status that this might be a harder battle than we first anticipated for the King.
Yeah, and they're notoriously private. We've never known anything about it. So to hear this, it is quite jarring. Now, Angela, Queen Camilla's son, this is Tom Parker Bowles, he will be attending his very first royal Christmas this year. But meanwhile, the King has excluded his own son, Harry, and wife, Meghan. So another year without Harry and Meghan. No surprises there.
Oh, look, it's interesting, isn't it? We're 5 years after Megxit and everybody's looking at, has this worked? And on some levels it's worked. They've got a bit more freedom, that sort of thing. But he doesn't have a relationship with his father at a time when his father is sick. He doesn't have a relationship with his sister-in-law at a time that she was sick. His children are now 5 and 3. This is the age that Harry will remember what it was like to be around family. He, of course, doesn't have extended family with Meghan because she doesn't talk to half of her family, well, most of them. So the royal family, this will be, as much as Harry and Meghan try to sort of spin the dialogue on this, that they love their freedom and that, you know, we just saw that the last week. The fact is, this will be a time that concentrates his mind, that he is very much on the outer of the family. As to the point about Tom Parker Bowles, I think this very much suggests, as we were just talking about, that the King's health could be worse than we think. The fact that Tom has said he's going to Christmas, in the past, he's usually spent it with his sister. Camilla, sometimes in the afternoon, has driven from Sandringham down to London to spend it with her children and grandchildren. But this year, she's made this plaintive approach to her son, saying, please come for Christmas. Now, that suggests to me there's a reason behind that. I want you here this year. It could be that it's just been a tricky year. She's, of course, just got over pneumonia. The King's been sick. But it also might speak a lot more to what might be going on behind the scenes for this family and their need to make sure that extended family are gathered together.
It sounds like she needs some support, definitely. Now, before we let you go, Prince Harry is set to face up to 4 days of questioning in UK's High Court. This is, of course, as part of his upcoming lawsuit against the publisher of The Sun over allegations of unlawful information gathering. How do you see this playing out now?
Well, this is down for 4 days. When he went against Mirror Group the year before last, that was only a day and a half of evidence. So 4 days of evidence. Of course, he won the case before. This has become a course celeb for him. He is driving this through. He, of course, has the Mail Group newspapers in 2026. Whereas, you know, others have settled out of court, Harry is very much pushing his vendetta against the press forward at every time. Of course, he was challenged on a lot of issues during the Mirror Group case. This one will be the same. And as the judge said in the last case, this was fraught with conflict, these cases. It was, you know, a hugely toxic battle. So, look, he likes it. He seems to want to do it. I can't see that it's giving him any peace, but he has a cause to fight.
I mean, it's a lot of a battle to keep going through the courts. It must be exhausting, but that's what he wants to do. So
and the cost of those flights.
The cost of the flights, but not to see the family, of course. Angela Mollard, good to be with you. Thank you so much for joining me on the show this evening.
Welcome back to Royal Sussex Squad, your go-to source for the real truth behind the royal family drama. If you're tired of the media smearing Harry and Meghan while glorifying those who actually deserve the scrutiny, then you're in the right place. Today, we're exposing the latest ridiculousness from none other than Donald Trump himself and the British media's desperate attempts to drag Harry into their nonsense. Buckle up and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Now let's get into it. Donald Trump recently claimed that Prince William confided in him about King Charles's and Princess Kate's health struggles. Yes, you heard that right. Trump, the man known for exaggerations and self-aggrandizement, expects us to believe that Prince William, the famously reserved future king, opened up to him about personal family matters. The British press, of course, ran with it, acting as though Trump's word is gospel. They conveniently ignore the fact that Trump is a known attention seeker who will say anything to keep himself relevant. But let's be real. The media is using this as another ploy to distract from the real issues within the royal family. Meanwhile, let's talk about the hypocrisy of the royal family when it comes to Prince Harry. King Charles is inviting Queen Camilla's son, Tom Parker Bowles, to his first ever royal Christmas, yet he continues to snub his own son and grandchildren. Let that sink in. Harry, who has done nothing but stand up for his wife and children, is being treated as an outcast, while Camilla's family is brought into the royal fold with open arms. The media wants to push this narrative that Harry is isolated and on the outer. But let's be honest, who's really missing out here? Harry and Meghan are thriving in the US, building an empire on their own terms, while the royal family continues to look outdated and out of touch. Who needs Christmas at Sandringham when you have a loving, supportive family and a life of purpose? And then there's the ongoing smear campaign against Meghan. They love to pretend she has no family connections, yet they conveniently ignore the toxic relatives she chose to distance herself from. Isn't it funny how the media never holds Kate to the same standard? We don't hear about her rocky relationship with her family, yet Meghan is vilified for setting healthy boundaries. The double standards are glaring. And let's not forget Harry's legal battle against the British tabloids. The media would have you believe he's obsessed with lawsuits, but let's call it what it is. He's holding them accountable for years of illegal and unethical behavior. He's not settling like the rest. He's standing up for truth and justice, and that's exactly why they fear him. He refuses to be silenced, and that makes him dangerous to the establishment. First, take a look at the ongoing royal health crisis. King Charles and Princess Kate are both dealing with serious illnesses, and we genuinely wish them well. But notice how their privacy is being fiercely protected. The media has repeatedly stated that it's wrong and invasive to ask too many questions about their conditions. Yet where was this level of respect when Meghan was pregnant and struggling with her mental health? Where was the privacy when the tabloids were harassing her non-stop, publishing intrusive stories and outright lies? Suddenly, when it's Charles and Kate, privacy matters again. The double standard is glaring. The irony? Harry and Meghan were accused of abandoning the royal family, yet it's the royals themselves who have repeatedly shut them out. When Harry wanted to visit his father during his illness, he reportedly had to go through endless hurdles just to see him. Meanwhile, Camilla's kids can waltz into royal events with no issues. The hypocrisy is staggering. At the end of the day, this entire situation proves one thing. The royal family and their media lackeys aren't interested in truth or fairness. They just want control. And Harry and Meghan took that control away by forging their own path. That's why they're still being vilified to this day. So, let's get this straight. Donald Trump is suddenly a reliable source. The royal family keeps excluding Harry while cozying up to Camilla's kids, and the media continues their desperate attempts to paint Harry and Meghan as outcasts. We see right through it. Harry and Meghan are thriving while the royal family is scrambling to keep their crumbling image intact. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you love the content we bring, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and show your support with a super thanks. We appreciate every one of you for helping us tell the real story. Until next time, stay woke and stay royal.